Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for Brown Bag Art with Sister Therese Kelly. We're so happy you could join us. This is really has been a great week celebrating Catholic Sisters Week. And this is one of the programs that we are hosting, the Felician Sisters of North America. We reached out to Sister Therese Kelly in Buffalo. You might know her for her stained glass art or as a professor at Villa Maria College. But we know her as Sister Therese Kelly, and we're so happy she agreed to put together a project that everyone could do at home. And so we're here today. Sister Therese is joining us from Buffalo, and she's going to start today's program with a prayer.
Hello, everyone. I find it ironic that I'm asked to offer a verbal prayer when I've been speaking of visual prayer as often written about by the great Thomas Merton. So I offer this prayer to help those who need verbal prayer and is written by Julia Cameron of The Artist Way. O great Creator, we are gathered together in your name that we may be of greater service to you and to our fellow human beings. We offer ourselves to you as instruments. We offer ourselves to your creativity in our lives. We surrender to you our old ideas. We welcome your new and more expansive ideas. We trust that you will lead us. We trust that it is safe to follow you. You know you created us and that creativity is your nature and our own. We ask you to unfold our lives according to your plan, not our low self-worth. Help us to believe that it is not too late and that we are not too small or too flawed to be healed by you and through each other and made whole. Help us to love one another, to nurture each other's unfolding, to encourage each other's growth, and understand each other's fears. Help us to know that we are not alone, that we are loved and lovable. Help us to create as an act of worship to you. Amen. This image illustrates that we all have our own way of praying. Those who know me well know this to be true. And in closing this prayer, I want to share my favorite Teilhard de Chardin quote of the earth. Someday, after we have mastered the winds, the waves, the tides, and gravity, we shall harness for God the energies of love. And then, for the second time in the history of the world, humanity will have discovered fire.
Thank you so much, Sister Therese. We're so grateful for that beautiful beginning. And I don't know what it's like where you're all sitting today, but in Pittsburgh, we have about a foot of snow, and I think you have some snow in Buffalo. But what we'd like to do today is we were able to gather in Buffalo a little while ago and work with Sister Therese Kelly right in her studio. We had sisters, friends, students, and others gather with us for this project that you're about to see today. The wonderful thing is this is a project that can be done with one person, two people, 20 people. We had people stay for the day, stop in and out. So Sister Therese Kelly, you're going to guide us through a really simple project, but ends up to be so beautiful. And we're happy to answer any questions. If you would like to use the chat function and have questions really just about anything, whether it's about the project itself, other ideas or prayers that you can do while you're doing art, please let us know what your questions are. At the end of the program, you'll see a thank you screen and ending, and then we'll jump back on and answer all of those questions for you. So thank you so much.
The project about planet Earth and making art with reusable materials and reflecting on the importance of saving the earth and the process of making the art and what it is like spiritually for a person to make art. So it's a great sharing on many, many levels, on spiritual levels, personal levels, and it's just amazing to see this come to pass in this gathering here today. I'm drawing the basic outlines of each of these 3 canvases. I'll call them canvases. It's recycled foam core with recycled paper bags from the grocery store that would normally go in the garbage eventually. So it's kind of the paper bag series, because I like, first of all, the color of the bag is nice to work with rather than stark white. It's much more creative to use. So I'm going to start by basically putting down my lines. So the people that come to fill this in with mosaic items, recycled items, have a pathway of design to work with. Okay, so I'm going to continue to put down the line drawing, and this particular scene here is called Water is Life, because it talks about the necessity of water on our planet for all life, all organic life, not just humans, but plants, animals, and we need to protect that. So water is life. And then I made the sun here, all important. There's the sun, will be here like a sunrise or a sunset. Here, there, and then here. So in here are rocks. So this is like a rock face that the waterfall flows over. This is going to be the waterfall. Here will be like the blues and greens. The rock will be, all the rock face will be organic earth colors like blacks and browns and grays, and some color, green, some green would be in there. So again, when I tell you it's not just literal what we're doing here, people in the process of making art like this are meditating and contemplating as they're working. It takes one into their right brain, which is the spiritual side of thinking. So it's really enriching to make art, especially in this context of doing something specific to connect with protecting the earth. And as Franciscans, we focus on that through the Pope's new encyclical on Laudato Si. It's amazing to me because it's always been my focus to do artwork that connects with the universe. So this is the moon and the earth and the universe, and so the people that come in today will then fill in the universe, the space, with stars and constellations using different objects that are mostly recycled. Right? And I have glass pieces that can be used for stars. And they can fill in with color with the earth. I have colored cloth that they can cut up. We also have like iridized cloth that could be used like for light that's reflected from the sun, which is not seen here. So this is the earth and the moon, our little piece of the universe to be protected. I call this the Spirit Mother Tree, or the Tree of Life. So trees are important to the earth and to the atmosphere because they take in the carbon dioxide that we emit from our polluting. Okay, so I am just going to finish off up here with some leaf areas, basically. People can fill this in later. Here, let's put a few branches up here. Branches. So the symbolic part of the tree of life is biblical. And it has lived in many cultures throughout the centuries, human cultures. Okay, that's it. If you'd like to do this at home, look at the kinds of things that you throw into the trash. Coming into this project, I opened myself up to whatever possibilities happen during this day. I didn't lose sleep over it because I knew that I could be synchronous. And when people started coming in the beginning, people dribbled in from the outside, people I had invited. And then sisters started coming in after they had their mass, and everybody started to converge together. And it became a joyous occasion, introducing the materials, showing them what to do. And just by learning how to work with these materials, people found common ground and were sharing different materials back and forth with each other and showing each other how to use glue, how to cut the materials for the project, and how to apply it to the different areas of the drawings that were there, and creating somewhat of a painting, not with paint, but with materials that they glued down, materials like scraps of cloth that were left over from other projects, pieces of what we might call garbage, would be scrap paper, paper that went through a shredder that would go into a landfill normally, pieces of plastic that might be thrown out, that would be thrown out even to a recycling bin. We're never sure where those recycled materials go. Some of them land up in the ocean anyways, even though we're recycling them. So we still want to pay attention to those things. And it makes us reflect on those things we use day to day and say, wow, this was garbage, but we're making it into everybody's trash could be everybody's treasure in some way or another. So, but the people in their conversations reflect all that. And also the walks of life they can't come from. So it's a great sharing on many, many levels, on spiritual levels, personal levels, and it's just amazing to see this come to pass in this gathering here today.
Great. I'll have to make it up there.
Yeah, what I wanted to
It's not just about the artwork, it's the process of making it.
see my leaves? See my leaves before I leave?
I love it.
Make sure you write that next to one of the
It's a
leaves.
Maria Oak.
Write it on there, yeah.
Is that, you just supposed to be there?
No, but we could work.
These Q-tips are like little mops,
They're like little bugs.
miniature mops.
Well, they could be little branches.
Yeah.
Mosaic.
The part
His
you
hot glue gun is hot.
what's the other part? I mean, this is the part.
Boy, that's very nice. I like that creative stuff. You know, you get brighter as you go.
Right. Start thinking light bulbs.
Yeah, I like it.
Mountains,
Mountains.
desert,
Yeah.
forest, snow. I don't know what I'm gonna put over here.
And she's putting, let's do this. If I can finish that water, that'll be good. And hers looks like it could be edible. What she's making. That looks like a dish of some sort.
Right.
Unless
It's
it's
a charcuterie, right?
Right.
Charcuterie art.
You hear?
Don't forget those snacks, healthy snacks.
Oh, really?
Wait, I can't do two things at once though. Rosanna and I are from the same area,
Oh, really?
Pennsylvania. She's right from Coriopolis, so she didn't have far to go to school.
Well,
I was expecting the unexpected, but today we got to know each other and we got to expand our creativity. So it was fun getting to see everybody stamp their carbon footprint and recycling and just doing artwork together.
Oh, you're making oak leaves.
I know, look at it.
Very nice. Where'd you get that?
And a little
It's a good idea.
I'm trying to do a radiant sun. Is what I'm trying to
Oh,
do.
that's nice.
I'm playing. That's what I call it.
You take this one for reference.
Oh, that's the nice
I
one.
mean,
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
How did you like your first day of art? You had it in college before.
Art?
Yeah.
Well, I just remember making a penguin out of paper mache when I was a senior. And they liked it so much that they took it to the art show and I won a prize. But I remember bringing that penguin home from Pittsburgh to Coyopolis on a bus in my hand, and everybody was looking at me as though, what is this? You know, it was a paper mache penguin. And I did win a prize for that.
Well, I had it 1 year in college, and I liked that. We had like a mosaic, and I liked that the best. And today, when we had this paper, you know, we're doing this thing of Earth Week, huh? And it just reminded me, it brought me back to my younger years. I said, oh, I think I can do this. So it made me look back on my years. And I enjoyed it, because then with others coming too and helping us, you know, just, and I completely forgot even of why I'm here. I forgot. I thought of that at dinner time. I said, what's the purpose of this? I forgot about the vocation part. I had so much fun just talking with each other and doing it. And then you got some bright ideas. You know, there was one lady here. She was doing one continent that I was helping her there. And she just made it like a 3D thing. And it brought it out. You see those pictures in books and in magazines. I actually saw it done before my eyes. It was beautiful. She used broccoli. I guess she got it from a lot of snacks here. She broke it up and made it into little trees. I thought that was cute. And snow, she used popcorn. I said, I thought these are our snacks, and you're using them on our paper here. Anyway, it's very nice. Hey, maybe we'll win first prize. I don't know where we're putting all this, but we might be. You never know who's gonna look at this, and maybe it'll draw them closer to the Lord.
Here we are at the midpoint of this project, the project about planet Earth and making art with reusable materials and reflecting on the importance of saving the earth and the process of making the art and what it is like spiritually for a person to make art. So we've had people from all different areas come into this project today. We have the sisters, we have people who are my students, people who are colleagues of mine that come in to make glass art, who were very generous in coming to work on this project. So as we listen to these conversations, these people who, many of them don't know each other, suddenly come together with something important about saving the earth and about creating art with reusable materials. And it's exciting to see this happen.
Okay.
I think you can carve a piece of art. There it is, right there.
Oh, Lord. Let me tell you.
Did Armand change diapers?
Oh, of course he did. I wouldn't have married a man who wouldn't change diapers.
What does she want?
So that means I can die anytime, right?
Isn't it good for you
Yeah.
to know?
Doesn't that feel good?
Well, I've got the stars on the wrapping paper with stars.
With the,
All the sharp.
he thought it was some new thing.
And I'll work on it with you too.
Cool.
It's been
I just clear these edges here a little bit better.
Exactly.
I can see myself doing this at home. I do have two small children, so I do a lot of arts and crafts, and we're very avid on recycling. So I think it's something that everyone can do at home.
And I didn't know what to expect. I thought, gee, I'm not too creative. What am I going to do? But it was fun doing, and I did bring out the creativity in me. And when I saw the other sisters, I was looking at each one of them and some of the lay people. They were doing wonderful work, and it was exciting, just having fun doing it together. You could do this in school, actually. Families too, it would be fun. You know, they could use
Together.
different materials they have in the house. It would be nice for
Or your
families
little
to do.
leftovers, you know, different things. Like they were using buttons. Well, I saw it here for eyes. But even in my area, there was all kind of different kind of buttons and I don't know, things I never saw in my life.
Okay, so the end result of this project. What do we do with it? Now reflect on this. If we are displaying this work, who knows how long? It could be a couple weeks, it could be a month, a year. At some point, what do we do with this? Does it go back into trash, which would be not a good thing because it defeats the purpose of the whole project. Now, this is my thought about that. Art, and as an artist and art professional and a teacher and a professor of art, I often teach, especially in contemporary and modern art, is that not all art is meant to be forever. It's not always meant to be kept for all eternity. There are some pieces like the Mona Lisa, of course. So what I'm thinking with this project is that we could then perhaps have a little fire with it, burn them, and take those ashes and put those back into the earth to become part of, ashes are good for gardens and for going back into the soil. So my thought is perhaps this non-ethereal work can go back into its created earth where all these elements came from in the first place. So that is my thought. But perhaps some of you out there might have other ideas to do with this, and I would welcome those opinions.
Well, I was so proud of what we did that I thought I forgot to put my name down. So I came all the way from my room down here just to write my name.
Oh, what a wonderful day that was. Sister Ann Therese, thank you so much. We really had a wonderful time with you and just really, I think, bonding and what were some of your favorite moments while we were together?
Well, watching this again made me remember what a good time we had and how much everybody interacted with each other and talked about recycling and from all different walks of life, as you noticed, the sisters, the other people that came in, Jerry and his wife, and a student of mine from the high school where I teach a class, and just all different people. Tamika, who works at Villa, she works on the staff, came in to join us, and it just was such a wonderful gathering. And I thank all
Right.
who were there.
I love that we had a few comments about this, that, some people didn't feel like they were artistic, but once they got there and were with other people, I think we saw a few artists blossom that day, right?
I agree. I agree.
So one question, oh, I'm sorry.
We saw what's possible. They all did.
Right. So one question I know that we've had is that you had mentioned using foam core and paper bags. I think all of us have lots of these at home, tucked between our refrigerator and wall. But what about the foam core? What are, some people may not know what foam core is, or are there some other options to create this?
Well, it was in my art studio, and I have a lot of things around that I reuse. Foam core is a good backing for making posters and things, but it's something that not everybody has. And the other option is just to take cardboard boxes and cut them up as backgrounds, different sizes. You don't have to make your art piece as big as we did, but I needed to make them large so that many people could work on them. And the people who were creating those pieces were able to move around to the 3 different art pieces, and they didn't have to stick to just one. But using cardboard boxes and recycle those that way for art is a great way if you don't have foam core. Foam core is something you buy at the art store, and it's stiff and used for posters and other things.
Okay. And I know a lot of us who shop at Sam's and those types of wholesale clubs end up with a lot of extra boxes. So what a great way of using them. We do have a question about the type of glue that was used that day.
Good
What
question.
are there different types of glue that people can use?
I use something that's very common to many households. First of all, a hot glue gun, but you have to be careful not to burn yourself because it is very hot. And also just plain white Elmer's glue. Since I didn't have bottles of Elmer's glue for everyone, I borrowed a large container of it from Maria Hefka, who does activities for the sisters. And I had these little paper cups, and I poured them into the cups and passed out a lot of Q-tips, and they used it to kind of mop the glue on, and that worked perfectly. Just those two kind of glues were sufficient to doing this. Anything common, school glue, anything like that, whatever you have around the house.
Oh, great. Well, another question we have is just how is this helpful for the environment? How did this, because that was our theme this week, and certainly with Laudato Si, and that's something the Felician Sisters are leading. Talk a little bit about what this meant for the environment. And did people talk about the environment when we were there?
They did talk about the environment. Some of us went around and started up the chatter about the environment, and it's mainly was a symbolic exercise to show how recycled materials could be used to make something beautiful, and often can be done with adults or children. And it brings about awareness of doing that, because the larger idea of that is to go home and be aware of those things that we waste, water bottles and milk bottles, milk that are made of plastic, a lot of plastic gets put out there. And it just was to create that awareness. It wasn't something that you need to do every day, make an art piece with recycled materials, which would be nice, but to create awareness of those things that we use every day. It's amazing how much garbage we put out, just amazing. And
It's wait.
at home with food scraps, I throw those into the garden for instant composting, for instance. But and you saw in the video, Kim actually used real broccoli and popcorn and that in the collages. But it's to create awareness. That's what it was about.
I remember some pieces of clothing that weren't quite good enough to give to Goodwill or to recycle because they were worn or had holes, but were cut into pieces to make some beautiful pieces. I'm wondering, like, we made such a large scale piece, but Sister and Therese, these are things that you could probably make into greeting cards for family, or
Yes.
little pieces of artwork to share with friends and family. What do you think about that?
We see that done in developing countries already that make cards. In Brazil, in Africa. They use these scraps to make beautiful art and even weave them into purses and things like that that I've seen. But it's also the awareness that one of the huge wastes that we see that isn't often talked about is the waste of how much clothing lands up in landfill also. So to be aware of that, again, the awareness is important.
Sure. Well, I have a quick comment here from someone who says it's not a question, but Joe shares with us that this reminds him of Catholic grade school at North Catholic. He graduated in 1970, but he said he's not very good at arts and crafts, but his daughter and wife are. So it's just nice to see some comments and chat from people. The other question we have is, will this be available for people to view later? And the answer is yes. This will be on our website, FelicianSistersNA.org. We have a special web page that you'll see on the front of the website for Catholic Sisters Week. So this will be posted on our website that you will be able to click through. Also, for all of you who registered, and even for those who were not able to join us today, you will be receiving an email with a link to this recording. And we certainly hope you will share this with others because it's really been such a wonderful day. If you have questions or want to follow up with us, please reach out to us at Felician Sisters at FelicianSisters.org. you can email or reach out to us through the website, through the contact form. But we thank you so much, Sister Therese Kelly, the time you took to put this together and gather people in your studio to teach us a little bit about the environment, and beautiful artwork is possible with a group and with some just household materials. So we thank you so much for your time today.
I thank you and your team. You all did a marvelous job with this project. You even
And thank you to everyone who joined us today.
Yes.
We wouldn't be able to have these kinds of programs without people's interest and support. So thank you to everyone today, and God bless you.